Hey there, how are you guys? So welcome back to the Spider-Man reviews. Hope you guys are enjoying them. I just want to let you guys know that I did finish all of my reviews for the Evil Dead movies. They are now available on my channel. You guys can check that out. And they're there, if you really want to do so. They're there. So yeah, let's continue on with the Spider-Man reviews. So today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was released in 2004 and is coming from director Sam Raimi, of course. So let's get started. So in Spider-Man 2, we see Peter Parker trying to balance being Spider-Man while also dealing with his demanding normal life. But not only that, there is a new villain in town that is in New York City that Spider-Man needs to stop, and his name is Octavius Dr. Octopus, or better known as Dr. Octavius, or better known as just Dr. Octopus. Plain and simple. Spider-Man 2 really does explore what it's like being a hero, balancing being a hero and dealing with a demanding normal life. You see the struggle in that and how hard it can actually be, balancing those two. That is thanks to the brilliant screenplay and the genius writing. This is a phenomenal sequel that explores that beautifully, just almost perfectly. Now, this is where the vulnerability comes into play significantly because we get to see Spider-Man actually struggle saving New York City while balancing being Peter Parker at the same time, handling his responsibilities. He has to, keep his promise by actually being there at Mary Jane's play. He's trying to save New York City, and we get to see Spider-Man slowly losing his powers. He's losing his strength a lot. He's losing his ability to shoot his webs. He's losing his ability to actually see without wearing glasses. He pretty much goes back to the old Peter Parker, where, he needs glasses all the time. You really just feel that struggle with Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Both of those characters, you see both sides of the spectrum, and that is what I really love about this movie. And then when he finally, eventually gets his powers back, when he's gaining his powers back, he actually can see without wearing his glasses. You're like, yeah, you're rooting for Spider-Man, you're rooting for the character Peter Parker as well, and you just want Spider-Man and Peter Parker to succeed on both sides of the spectrum, and that's amazing. That is brilliant script writing, that is brilliant, that is a brilliant screenplay. It's almost perfect, in my opinion. And oh boy, that train sequence at the end, that scene was incredibly well done. That was put together and choreographed beautifully. I thought that sequence, that train sequence at the end, it was so amazing. Wow. It's a jaw-dropping moment. It's a huge extravaganza. It's amazing. It's a really, really cool scene, and I've always loved it to this day. It's still one of the most coolest scenes in any superhero film ever. Really cool. It's awesome. And it was a really good sequence how Mary Jane and Harry Osborn finally found out the truth about Peter Parker, and that he was actually Spider-Man the entire time. It was a cool way to kind of reveal that to Mary Jane and Harry Osborn. But kind of for the worst for Harry, but because, Harry thinks that Peter killed his father. Yeah, I understand this is kind of a spoiler, but hey, you guys probably already saw Spider-Man 2 by now. I mean, who hasn't seen Spider-Man 2? But hey, but just in case, I will put some warnings here. So yeah, I thought that sequence was done pretty well too. The way they revealed that to Mary Jane and Harry, I thought that was cool. Okay, so now we got that stuff out of the way. Let's talk about, of course, the villain, Doc Ock. Octavius Dr. Octopus. Yeah, he's a great villain. I loved him in the Spider-Man cartoons. So Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus he's obviously a very beloved comic book Spider-Man villain, in the comic books. I'm fully aware of that. I am a pretty big fan of this villain. I think he's really cool. And I love his tentacles. I mean, the tentacles were done pretty well too. Another thing I really loved about Spider-Man 2 is that the tentacles were done incredibly well, and I just love it. It's so cool. There's another kind of Easter egg sort of, but not really. But it's kind of a reference to Evil Dead. First of all, Bruce Campbell's back in here as well, which is cool. And also, there's this one scene where Dr. Octopus is in the hospital and all the patients, you know, the nurse patients or whatever, they're expecting him, and they're using this driller or whatever, and his tentacles gets triggered by that, and they start going all crazy and stuff, and like that is ripped straight out of Evil Dead right there. Like holy crap, like that is pure Evil Dead. Also, I have to say that Alfred Molina, I think that's how you say his name. It's slipping by me a little bit, but yeah, his accent was pretty on par. It was spot on. Like his accent was really good. Well, not English, but well, yeah, it is English, obviously, but it's well, his American accent was super well done. I loved his American accent. It was so cool. It was believable. Alfred Molina, he was fantastic as Doc Ock. He was great as Dr. Octavius. He was amazing. So, yeah, there you go. He's cool. So unfortunately, I never saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters, which is really unfortunate because this movie would have been great on the big screen. It's a really big shame because I would have loved the heck out of this movie even more. Man, it's a big shame that I did not see Spider-Man 2 in theaters because it would have been so cool to see on the big screen. It would have been a different experience altogether. I'm so ashamed. Spider-Man 2 would have been so cool on the big screen. Wow. I missed out. I really, really missed out. I didn't see Spider-Man 2 until like a year after it came out, when I was out on video, when it was out on VHS and DVD. Yeah, so Spider-Man 2 was released in theaters back in 2004, and I didn't get a chance to see it, unfortunately, until 2005, a year later, and it was already out on video, and I saw it for the first time. In fact, I still have the DVD back there. Yeah, because for some reason I haven't upgraded to the Blu-ray yet, but I will get around to doing it at some point. It's the fan-favorite Spider-Man sequel out of the whole franchise. This is everyone's favorite, and to some extent, I would have to agree with that. This is a beloved and appreciated sequel. I mean, I love it. It's fantastic. I loved every single second of Spider-Man 2. There are some times where I do tend to slightly like Spider-Man 2 more than Spider-Man, or sometimes I tend to like Spider-Man better than Spider-Man 2. Kind of a mixed bag between the two, so kind of difficult and pretty hard for me to figure out. But all I know is that I just love both Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. I thought that they were both amazing movies. I thought that they were just fantastic, and I will never stop watching them. I think they're both great, great films. Spider-Man 2 gets an A, without a doubt. The reason why it does not get an A+ is because it's just not great enough. It's not a great push enough. Same thing I said with Spider-Man 1. I said that it wasn't great enough to hit my A+ mark, my A+ masterpiece mark, but it is still a fantastic superhero comic book film ever. It's one of the best I've ever seen. So yeah, I love this movie so much, as well as Spider-Man, the original. Yeah, I think it's really good, really, really good. So, yeah, that's kind of my overall take on Spider-Man 2. What did you guys think of Spider-Man 2? I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. I will be sure to read that. So look forward to my Spider-Man 3 review. Oh, that's going to be pretty fun. I am looking forward to talking about that with you guys. Yeah, and also let me know what you guys thought of the first film, Spider-Man. I'd love to hear that down in the comment section. Okay, so before I go, I want to show you guys how cool my shirt is, how cool my t-shirt is. Trust me, you guys are going to love it. Look at that. That looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? It looks pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Looks so cool, huh? Looks really, really cool. So until next time, everybody, take it easy, guys, and take care, everyone.